Well, good morning and welcome to Move Early, Move Often. It is Functional Friday, and I am Blake Martin. My fantastic co-host, as always, is Thomas Karakolis. He's keeping it real in the heart of the snowy city. It may not be snowy by the time this airs or you see it. You might be watching it in Bali in April. I don't know if people are going to go anywhere ever again. Anyways, Functional Friday, right? A lot of times we try to focus on these movements that cross different movement planes, and they engage muscle groups in what are called synergies. So your brain tries to lump groups of muscles together to conduct movements. And over time, as you develop movement patterns, these synergies they work more cohesively. They work better together. We normally do that. We're going to do something quite different. We're going to take a movement that's this really classic movement. If you just look here, I'm going to show this to you. So we've got this old timey image of this guy with a dumbbell, and I'm sure you've seen stuff like this, or maybe seen some guy with his lifting up a woman in a similar position. And what we're going to focus on today is this move called the Turkish Getup. And the Turkish Getup it's a weirdly discoordinated movement, and it causes your body to work in ways that are different than what you would normally do. If you were going to lift up a weight, this is not the way you would normally do it. Um, oh, I'm going to get rid of this guy. Well, no, I'm not going to get rid of this guy. We'll leave him there for another second. They say that if you can do this with a shoe, that you've got the proper form. You shouldn't start trying to lift up a weight until you can lift up a shoe, and basically a shoe balanced on your hand. So you should have good enough form that you can get up from the ground doing that. So we're going to do like a little brief warm up. We're going to kind of do some of the movements that are in the Turkish Getup, and then we're going to work on the Turkish Getup itself. It's a weird movement. You're not going to feel natural doing it at first, or maybe ever at all. Um, I I sometimes do it with a 25-pound weight. You can do it with a kettlebell or a lesser weight. It's really hard with weight. And I really recommend working through the mechanics of it before you do it with any weight at all. That's where the shoe comes in. We've got our exercise mat. I'm going to just start our timer here. Oh, that's way too loud. And just come onto your exercise mat here. And what you're going to do is we're going to do bridges. So you're going to sit with you probably did these in gym class, but a different kind. So we're going to do like these tabletop bridges. So we're just going to your feet should be I don't know, kind of on a 45-degree angle, your hips and your knees. And what you're going to do is with your hands behind your back, you're just going to lift your hips and try to be parallel to the floor. Make a nice tabletop and back down. We're going to do that a few times. This is our warm-up. 2, slowly. 3. Your arms should be straight down, and everything should be, your body should be nice and flat. 4. And your knees should be at 90 degrees to your shins. That was 5. I'm going to do 5 more. 6. And just take it slow. 7. We're working muscles that we don't often use, and we're using them in a different way. 8. Just breathe. Really get those hips up. That'll be important in the Turkish Getup. 9. And 10. All right. So next move we're going to do is we're just going to take our knee, and we're just going to go from seated on our bum to kneeling. Okay, so you're just going to shoot that leg through. Now this is quite opposite to what we're going to be doing next. So don't get attached to this movement. I'm just getting you to do something, and we'll do it on the opposite leg. I'm not going to give you a butt shot there. Step through. So this is the natural way. This is what we would really normally do. We would normally do this. All right. Okay, so we did 5 of each of those. To the Turkish Getup. Here's what's going to happen. Just watch for a moment. We're going to lay on our back. You're going to take one hand. Don't bother with the shoe right now. You're going to take one hand and you're going to raise it into the air. So let's take our right hand to start and put your right foot on the ground close to your butt. Okay? Press that hand up into the air and roll up on your elbow. Press up onto your hand. Take your long leg and shoot it behind the leg that's bent. Keep your arm directly up in the air and press it now, bringing your hand off the ground. Step up. And that's the up part of the Turkish Getup. And we're going to go back down. So fold your leg behind you and bring your knee to the floor. Keeping your hand in the air. Reach to the floor so that you've got your hand on the ground. Lift your hips up to the sky. Shoot your leg in front, hip to the ground. Onto your back and down. All right, let's do that together. You're on your back. Hand to the sky. Reach for the sky. Keep that hand going up and bring your shoulder off the ground, up onto your elbow, up onto your hand. Press your hip up. Bring that foot behind the standing leg. Keep pressing your hand up to the sky. Curl those toes under on the back foot and stand. Back down, curl the toes under, kneel. Hand reaches out. Hips come up. Shoot your leg in front. The hip comes down. Elbow on the ground. Roll to your back. Hand down, knee down. Let's do that on the opposite leg. So opposite arm is in the air. This time the left. And press that up to the sky. Up onto your elbow. Press up onto your hand with your knee up. I forgot to bring the knee up right away. Hips to the sky. Really press the hips up. Bring that knee behind and stand on the ground with it. Keep that hand up. Curl your toes under. Step up. And then curl the toes under. Squat down. Reach outward and behind you slightly. Hips to the sky. Leg shoots in front. Butt to the ground. Down onto your elbow. Keeping your hand in the air. Rolling onto your back. And down. And a knee and hand come down. All right. So now let's try balancing it, doing it with a shoe balanced on our hand. Ideally, you don't grab onto the shoe. You're just trying to balance the shoe. That's going to be the hard part. So we're trying to have good form and pay attention to what's happening with our hand. So on our back with our right arm in the air. Shoe balanced on your hand. Okay, And sorry, start with your hand near the ground because that's where the weight will be. And press it up into the air. Bring that knee up on the same hand. Come up onto your elbow, pressing the hand into the air. Extend up onto your hand. Hip shoots up into the air as high as possible. Leg comes behind, stepping onto your knee. Stand. Curl your toes under and stand up. Let's go back down. Foot comes behind, curling, reaching out, hips into the air. Shoot your leg in front, hips to the ground. Elbow comes down to the ground, and you roll onto your back, and leg and arm down. We'll try it on the other side. Okay. Arm goes up and knee comes up. Roll up onto your elbow, up onto your hand. Press up your hips really high. Knee comes behind. Looking to the sky. You continue to stand. Curl your toes under in your back leg. Come up. And then back down. Curl your toes. Down to your knee. Reach out. Hips up. Shoot your leg in front. Hips down. Reach out your hand. Flatten your elbow. The mat. Roll onto your back. Knee and arm come down. All right. Let's try it one more time with the shoe. I'm going to talk to you minimally, and I'd like you to do this as smoothly as possible. But in each instance, really try to think about what your hips are doing, because your hips are really responsible for driving a lot of this movement. So again, we'll do this on our right side. And we're going to try and do it a little more quickly and smoothly, more integrated. So knee in hand, reach. Place your palm flat on the floor. Roll up onto your elbow. Press up onto your hand. Shoot your hips to the sky. Knee reaches behind. Reach up. Curl your toes under. Stand. Back down. Hand to the ground. Shoot your hips up. Reach that foot in front. Hips come down. Elbow flat. Roll to your back. A knee and hand come down. Switching sides. And knee and hand up the same side. Keep reaching up with that shoulder. Now you really want your hips to be engaged to bring you up. And your hips are shooting back through. And your hips rock forward. And your hips drive you upward. Hips coming down with control. Reaching out your hand. Hips come up to the sky, allowing your foot to come in front. Hips to the ground with control. Elbow to the ground. Rolling to your back. And then back down. All right. Do it one last time. If you've, you can do it with it or without a shoe. But if you're doing it with a shoe, I really want you to focus on just having the shoe balanced on your hand. Don't grab onto the shoe at all. It should just be completely balanced. You want all the control to be in your body. So here we go. Knee and hand of the same side. Roll up onto our elbow. Press onto our hand. Hips rise. Knee comes behind. Toes curl under. Continue to rise with your hand. Rise to the ceiling. And see if you can make this a very smooth movement on the way down. Knee comes behind. Balanced. Hand reaches out. Hips raise. Foot shoots in front. Hips come down. Elbow to the floor. Rolling onto your back. And knee and hand come down. Switching hands. Knee and hand of the same side. Shoulder comes off the ground. Lifting onto your elbow. Hips come up. Foot shoots behind. And rise. Look to the ceiling. Stand. Smoothly back to the ground. Hand reaches out. Hips come up. Foot shoots in front. Hips come down. Elbow flat. Onto your back. Hand and knee come down. All right. So that is the Turkish Getup. I don't know. If you look here, you can see you look kind of like that. That's what you looked like. Maybe minus the weird diapery kind of thing. But that's kind of our objective. We've got this upward focus as the hand moves upward. It's counterintuitive in a lot of ways. It's not what we would normally do. And that's why it develops muscles in unique ways. It causes us to engage in a slightly different method of movement. And this is good for us. It's good for our brains and it's good for our bodies to do this. So as you develop these new synergies, it will take time for you to get the coordination, but you will get there eventually. I hope that that was, it always teaches me a lot every time I do it. And it also, if you do it with weights, it becomes a really substantial workout. It's quite exhausting after a few of them. You've moved early. I hope you remember to move often. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Momentum Monday.